Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to compress a bass guitar using a compressor in Studio One. So first things first, let's take a look at our compressor plugin. As you can see, we have all the typical compressor controls here: threshold, ratio, attack, release, and makeup gain. Now let's take a listen to our bass guitar track. As you can hear, the bass guitar has a lot of dynamic range. There are some parts that are very loud and some parts that are very quiet. So what we want to do with the compressor is to even out those levels so that the bass guitar sits more consistently in the mix. To do that, we're going to start by setting our threshold. The threshold is the level at which the compressor will start to kick in and reduce the volume. So we want to set our threshold so that the compressor only kicks in when the bass guitar gets too loud. I'm going to set my threshold to around -20 decibels. Now let's take a listen to how that sounds. Now that we have our threshold set, let's move on to the ratio. The ratio controls how much the compressor will reduce the volume once it kicks in. For a bass guitar, I typically like to use a ratio of around 4:1. This means that for every 4 decibels the bass guitar goes over the threshold, the compressor will only allow 1 decibel to pass through. Next up, we have the attack and release controls. The attack controls how quickly the compressor kicks in once the threshold is crossed, and the release controls how quickly the compressor stops compressing once the volume goes back down. For a bass guitar, I usually set the attack to around 10 milliseconds and the release to around 100. Now let's take a listen. Finally, we have the makeup gain control. This control allows us to increase the overall volume of the bass guitar once it's been compressed. I'm going to set my makeup gain to around 2 decibels. Now let's take a listen to the final result. And there you have it. That's how you can use a compressor to even out the levels of a bass guitar in Studio One. Of course, every mix is different, so you may need to adjust these settings to fit your specific needs. But hopefully, this gives you a good starting point. Thanks for watching.